Yo. Welcome in, man. Today is April the 11th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. We have, I think every team plays today except maybe two teams that don't play today, but it may be every team, honestly. I can't remember how many games it is. It's a lot of games, though. Not going through all of them. I don't think all of them matter, but we'll discuss a few. I'll give you guys some thoughts on at least the way that I'm looking, and the one bet that I did make, I'll share that with you guys as well. So let's jump into it for today. Coming off a 0-1 night yesterday, the only thing that I bet yesterday was the Minnesota and Memphis game to go under, and the Grizzlies, they kind of showed their hand last night. They're not a good defensive team. Minnesota showed that they can, kind of run it up on Memphis. So probably should have just been on the Minnesota side. We talked it out yesterday. In retrospect, of course, it was the best. It was the better play of the two. But yeah, I bet under. And you can kind of tell from the beginning, Memphis, when they're playing against good offensive teams, they can't really stop anybody right now. Their defense is pretty bad. So coming off a loser, just the one bet, need to kind of get it back after having a couple good days in a row. Let's go through a couple comments and we'll talk about what jaXon likes, and then we'll get into it for today. What up, G Hurt? Says, good morning, everyone. Chad says, damn, the Grizzlies and Timberwolves game soared over 232. Glad I took both teams' totals over. Still took a hit on the Pacers. Yeah, the Pacers are trash. The Pacers are not good at basketball. When it's a something that you have to put beside it. An asterisk goes beside it. When you need them to win by multiple possessions, they don't care about the game. They'll show up in the fourth quarter. So I watched them, let Ty Jerome look like a starting point guard in the NBA last night. DeAndre Hunter, Sam Merrill, those guys were hitting last night. Let's see. Tom says Pacers never covered. Let's see. What up, Jamel? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Taiwan. What up, Adam? Yeah, these games are really hard to bet. I'm looking at this comment from Adam right here, especially on the parlay. What up, Justin? Appreciate you for tapping in. No, Justin got some money yesterday with the Timberwolves. He had a +1.5. What up, Swish? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. What up, Big Marv? Let's get in. Taiwan says, glad you talked me off. Cade and Kyle covered. Shaking my head. Giannis messed me up, though. Yeah, that was a 1-800 gambler game yesterday between the Pelicans and the Bucks. So yeah, Timberwolves was an easy cash coup. I should have been on the Timberwolves side instead of trying to play that total. And I got the CLV. That's the craziest part. The market ended up agreeing with me. It went from 233.5 down to I think it closed like 230, 229.5. I think I saw as well. But Grizzly says, you know what? We're not guarding anybody today. If we're gonna make some shots and they're gonna make some shots, then we're gonna take this L. And Anthony Edwards went absolutely crazy last night. I think both teams combined to shoot over 48% from the three-point line as well. So just an absolute shootout last night. It was on the wrong side of that one for sure. Wasn't even close. It went over by like 30 points last night. So need to do a little bit better today. Let's start off with jaXon as we always do. The prompt for jaXon today was, what is the best total in the NBA based on last 10 games? jaXon likes the over between, going right back to the Grizzlies game, the over between the Grizzlies and the Nuggets. Says take over 240.5. Let me just double check and see what the line is right now. So 241, it looks like, is the total. It's up from 238.5, so the money is coming in on the over here. It says that both teams have been involved in high-scoring games over the last 10. The Grizzlies are averaging 118.3 points per game. Nuggets are averaging 116.7. Combined, they're averaging 235, which is close to the set total. Nuggets 20th in defensive efficiency last 10 games. The Grizzlies slightly better defensively, but have struggled on the road, allowing 117.5 points per game in their last 10 away from home. Both teams play relatively fast. Grizzlies 8th in pace. Nuggets are 12th in pace, creating more possessions and scoring opportunities. The Grizzlies have hit the over in 7 of their last 10. The Nuggets have hit the over in 6 of their last 10. Take the over 240.5. Two high-powered offenses, both of which have been scoring at a high clip recently. The combination of fast-paced defensive struggles and recent trends point towards an over. So strong bet on the over here. As far as player prop goes, jaXon likes, based on last 10 game hit rate, it looks like jaXon likes some juice ones. AJ Green over his rebounds at 1.5, but it looks like that's -170. Says that he's hit this line in 10 straight games, averaging closer to 3 rebounds than 2. So he should be able to get some boards. Detroit ranks 18th in rebounding. But that's a really juiced one. It also likes Chris Dunn over his 3-point prop. That's also pretty juiced at minus 215. He's a not best that I would make. And then Bam Adebayo over his 3-point prop. And that's also juiced at minus 210. So I won't even read those, but know that jaXon likes a couple player props that do have some juice today, and likes the over between the Nuggets and the Denver Nuggets today as well. So let's jump into it for today, man. I'm not going through all of these games. They're meaningless. I do kind of want to talk them out. So we'll start here with the Orlando Magic and the Indiana Pacers. Really difficult. I'm not sure why I made a graphic for this one, because it's difficult to know who's going to even play in the game. Corey Joseph. So you got the Pacers on the second leg of a home back-to-back, of course. The Magic do have Corey Joseph, KCP, Wendell Carter Jr., Franz, and Paolo. Pretty much their whole starting lineup listed as questionable in this game. And that's why the Pacers are laying so many points on the second leg of a back-to-back. I still don't trust the Pacers, though. And they should be able to blow out the Magic second unit, because it's not like they have a bunch of guys that's going to come in there and fill it up offensively. But I'm not sure, man. So I wrote in my notes, Skip. Orlando's locked in to 7, so they probably will rest some players. New York actually owns the tiebreaker over the Indiana Pacers. But New York lost last night. We'll talk about them in just a second. The Pacers won last night, only by 2, and they did secure home court advantage in the first round. So the Pacers will finish top 4. It's really just, do they want to try to catch the Knicks or not? And they still have the opportunity with the Knicks losing yesterday. The Pacers sit just let me just double check this real quick. I want to make sure I got it right. Yeah, the Pacers sit 1 game behind the Knicks now. The Knicks are a game ahead of them. But like I said, New York owns the tiebreaker. So the Knicks would need to lose out. The Pacers would need to win out. And I don't think that that's going to happen. So I'm not sure what I say all that to say I'm not sure what the Pacers are going to do on the second leg of a back-to-back. You got home court. I don't think that, if the standards were to start today, because the Bucks are probably going to be locked into the 5th spot, I don't think the Pacers are trying to get away from playing the Bucks. I think that they would be fine with hosting the Bucks in the first round. They beat them last year. The Bucks will be without Dame, and I know that they got Bobby Portis back, but I think the Pacers will be cool with that matchup. So I'm not sure with the Pacers. We got to kind of wait on the injury report, of course. I'm not sure what they're going to do with their injury report in this game as well. So it makes it really, really difficult to handicap. I know I wouldn't be laying 7.5 points with the Pacers though in the second leg of a back-to-back, even if Orlando did rest their players. But if Orlando rests their players, that's why you got to wait. If Orlando rests their players, you'll get a much better number. But then the Pacers still could rest their players. So it's a very tricky game. Don't really want to talk about it too much, but those are just my thoughts on this one. Let's go through just real quick if anybody got thoughts on this one. What's up, TC Bets? Says K Cash. Yeah, we talked about K yesterday. Over 34.5 points and assists. That pick and roll defense for the Knicks is not good. And they were down a couple of really good perimeter defenders they could have threw at K yesterday with no Josh Hart, no OG Anunoby. 229.5. It still went over. Flew over, Chad. Sometimes you're just on the wrong side. That's my fault. Timberwolves shot 85%. And that tells me a lot about the Grizzlies. You have a chance that you really need this game. You're at home. You're coming off a really big win that didn't take any effort against the Charlotte Hornets. And then you allow a team to shoot 85% in the third quarter. I think they missed 3 shots the Timberwolves did in the third quarter. Tells me all I need to know about the Grizzlies. At home. Let's see. What else? Atlanta team total over as well. Adam says, I'm not sure what games y'all talking about. What's up, Brian? Says Lakers trifecta tonight. We're clinching the 3rd spot. We'll talk about that game. LJ says Orlando 11-4 ATS first half in the last 15 games. Does it matter though, LJ, if they got their whole starting lineup listed as questionable? I don't think Orlando cares about this game. Taiwan says he thinks Orlando covers. Yeah, we can. Let's just get off of this one because it's a lot of games. I'm not going through all of them, but it's a lot of games, and I'm not gonna get jammed up on one for too long. Bucks and Pistons. So both of these teams, of course, played last night. Let me see real quick. Let's just check the standings. So I mentioned this already. The Bucks are in 5th. They have clinched. They won't get home court advantage. The Pacers can't catch them. They can't catch the Pacers now. So they will finish 5th most likely. Let's see real quick. I had it pulled up. Let's see. All right, so just kind of going back. Bucks defeated the Pelicans, maintained 2-game lead over the Pistons. Pistons beat the Knicks, remained 2-game lead over behind the Bucks. So I think the Pistons would need to win out here in order to kind of flip flop. And I'm not sure if they're even interested in doing that. Real quick. Oh man, this is tough. Real quick, let's just go through and look at let me just look at the remaining schedules real quick. And I think these two teams play each other again. Yeah, they do. They play each other again on Sunday to kind of finish up. So this is another game where it kind of feels like the Bucks could potentially rest some guys here, which is why you see this line so big in favor of Detroit. It's another game that I kind of feel like we need to see who's going to be available. Are the Bucks okay with where they are in the standings? And then if that is the case and we start to see Milwaukee rule players out, does JB Bickerstaff do the same thing with Detroit, trying to get Cade ready for the playoffs and not playing him on the second leg of a back-to-back? Like it's kind of tough, man. It is kind of tough. And let me just make sure. Let's see what we have. I'm pretty sure we don't have anything as far as injury report goes, but let me just double check. Yeah, we don't have anything, but it's probably going to get pretty long. So as far as players being available for this game, I can see a couple guys potentially sitting out. So it's tough, man. This one is tough as well. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one, if we have anything at all. What up, Lightbear? Appreciate you for tapping in. I saw somebody, I can't find the comment now. Somebody said, shout out to jaXon. All About My Bill says, I don't know who's worse at picks, Chris or jaXon. Just kidding. Appreciate the Daily Show. Yeah, appreciate you for tapping in as well. So jaXon cashed yesterday. jaXon was on Ja Morant up and over his 25.5 points. He got that, had a new celebration, all that good stuff, and they still got smoked. So jaXon gave out a winner yesterday. I did not, but I have been giving out winners. Let's see. LJ says Giannis very profitable versus Detroit. I'm not sure if he even plays, though. Not sure if he even plays. We'll see, though. We shall see. All right, let's go Memphis. And so I'm not touching Atlanta, Philly. That game, as much as I wanted to, real quick, we'll touch upon it in a second. I'll go through all the other games in just a second. Just kind of give you guys my thoughts. Let's just go through the ones I got right here. So Memphis and Denver. Memphis lost last night. Denver has the one-day rest advantage, of course, after beating Sacramento the other day. Kind of kicking myself I didn't play Denver first quarter like we talked about. It was a terrible spot for Sacramento coming back home off that 6-game road trip. So real quick, we look at the standings. Memphis losing last night dropped them down to 7th. They Golden State owns the tiebreaker over them, even though they have the same record. The Grizzlies still own the tiebreaker over the Timberwolves, which the Timberwolves, barring any kind of crazy outcome tonight, they should be able to beat Brooklyn by 120 points. They are listed as 19-point favorites right now. And the Grizzlies kind of got their work cut out for them. They got this game against the Denver Nuggets, and then they finish on Sunday against the real quick. Who they play on Sunday? They play Dallas on Sunday. So we'll see how much that game means to Dallas. I'm not sure what Dallas wants to do as far as standings go either. Dallas is clinched already. If Sacramento loses today, which I am expecting Sacramento to lose, Dallas could potentially catch Sacramento. I'm not sure who owns the tiebreaker in that matchup. Like, it's a lot of different scenarios. Let me just double check that real quick. Dallas, when they played against the Mavs, when they played against the Mavs don't own the tiebreaker. The Mavs have actually lost all 3 games against the Kings. So the Kings own the tiebreaker over the Mavs. So what that tells me is that the Mavs should not be able to catch the Kings since they've lost all 3 games. So even if the Mavs went out and the Kings lose, which I'm expecting the Kings to lose to the Clippers today, the Clippers have a lot to play for as far as seeding goes. I am expecting the Mavs to probably not take these games as serious unless Sacramento loses out. So they're a game behind. You would need Sacramento to lose both games if you're Dallas in order to be able to catch them. All right, so going back to this, so Sacramento got got the Clippers today. They finished the season off against Phoenix, which they'll probably end up winning that game. All right, so knowing all that now, we got a 7 point spread, and if I'm being honest, the first thing I looked at when I looked at this game, especially based on how the Grizzlies were playing defense yesterday, was a Denver team total up and over. The number is moving north, so people are betting the over. I think you can get 123 right now, 123 and a half, and that's the way that I would play it. It's just a couple things I was looking at. First off, we talked about the Grizzlies. I know it was people in the comments section yesterday saying, "Oh, the Grizzlies have played the more difficult schedule," and I said, "Yeah, you're right." But I do think that Memphis is the better team. That Minnesota's the better team, and they proved it yesterday. They are much better than the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies as road dogs. We've talked about this a couple times before. So as a road dog, 16-3 to the over. They're giving up an average of 125 points. They've played in, I think this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of their last 12 have actually gone up and over the total. They have failed to hold a team under 125 points in their last 5 games when they've been a road dog. So you add in road dog and they're unrested. They are a perfect 2-0 to the over. They have also not covered either one of these games. They lost to the Warriors by 8. They were getting 3. They lost to the Clippers by 14, and they were getting 6.5. So this points to the Nuggets. It also points to a Nuggets team total up and over. That's the way that I would be leaning in this game. A look towards, and we'll see if I get there. I think Denver wants to win this game, though. Denver needs to win this game. Denver right now is in the 4th position, but if they lose, the Clippers will take their spot. And I think Golden State can also catch them. So I know that this spread seems a little big. Denver doesn't play a lot of defense, but that's the way that I would be looking. I would be looking towards a Denver team total up and over, especially coming into altitude on the second leg of a back-to-back. Even if the Grizzlies try to play a little defense here, I think the Nuggets absolutely light them up. So that's my thought process on this one. And that's what I had written in my notes. Switch says grenade. Let's see. LJ says Denver 9-3 ATS in the first quarter, last 12. Adam says I can't wait to fade Memphis in the playoffs. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be with you. It depends on matchup, but yeah, especially losing Jalen Wells. I think that was a big hit for him. The big hit for him. He plays really good defense. He was kind of played really good defense against Anthony Edwards earlier this season. I didn't take that into consideration. Scottie Pippen Jr. is a little bit too small. You see Anthony Edwards really get to any spot he wanted to on the floor and be able to score the basketball yesterday. So their defense will struggle. Their defense will absolutely struggle. What up, Jay, man? J-Man says Grizzlies the gift that keeps giving. Fade them, the vibes versus teams that have above 50% win percentage. And that is true, man. I'm kicking myself I didn't do that. Let's see. Grizzlies are 1-11 straight up, 1-10-1 against the spread, playing against a team that has a 50% win percentage or better since the All-Star break. So they've been involved in 12 games since the All-Star break against winning teams. They're 1-11 straight up, 1-10-1 against the spread, giving up an average of 125 points and losing by an average of 10.7 points per game. So, yeah, it makes a bunch of sense here, J-Man. I don't know if I want to get on the spread, but I do see that total is continuing to go up, and I do want to hurry up and get involved in that. 242, it looks like, is the new total, and it's only moving up. I need to get in on that game. I need to get in on that Dallas team total up and over before it moves to 124.5. Let's see. My opinion, not yours, says the game screams over. Peasy says top of the morning gang. What up, Peasy? What up, Tariq says I agree with Denver team total over in the first quarter. Memphis can't tear their way out of the paper bag. Yeah, they're terrible, man. I love it, says I'm telling. Yeah. All right, so let's move over to the Clippers and the Kings. Clippers and Kings. So we got A 6 point spread here in favor of the Clippers. The Clippers are laying 6 points. It looks like this line opened at 7. It's come down. So Clipper money coming in on the Kings here. Totals come down as well from 227.5 down to 225.5. I think immediately looking at the game, and now it's back up to 226.5. I think immediately looking at the game, we first start with the standings. That's the most important thing, right? Because that's where we get our motivation from. So the Clippers are in 5th, but a loss could still drop them. Like they could still be in the play-in. So the Clippers will play this game really, really tough. Sacramento is kind of locked into the play-in. They can. I don't think that this game means as much for them. They can't catch Minnesota. So they will be either in 9th. I think they will finish in 9th because I don't think Dallas can. I guess if Dallas wins out, even though Sacramento I think will beat Phoenix to end the season. So Sacramento, I don't know how much this game means to Sacramento. I guess that's what I'm saying, because they can't move up. They can move down, but I don't think that they will move down because I do think that they'll beat Phoenix. So with that being said, I'm not betting against the Clippers right now. I think that's where it kind of lies with for me. I know this is third game in 4 nights for them, but they were comfortable at home in those last 2 games. Kawhi also missed one of those games, so he'll be fresh. He only played in the last one, the most recent one, and I know James Harden played big minutes in both of those games. But the Clippers, even though they're on the road, it's a short travel from this in-state rivalry, of course. So, not a lot of travel at all from LA to Sacramento. I think, real quick, just looking at the Clippers, I know that they've been the best team in the NBA in the last 5 games. They're number 2 in offensive efficiency, number 2 in defensive efficiency. We checked the injury report real quick. Norman Powell is on it. He didn't play in the last game. He's listed as questionable. If he is in, I think this line moves up. Zubac is on the report as well. I did have him in my notes. He's listed as questionable due to a right ankle sprain. That's big because Sabonis is he has a big advantage with Zubac potentially not being there. On the other side, the Kings have Malik Monk listed as out. Keegan Murray missed the last game. I think he's listed as game time decision. And then no Zach LaRavia as well. So I guess the way I'm thinking about this game is I'm just not betting against the Clippers right now. When I see a team that has a really good offensive rating and a good defensive rating and they're about the same, I typically just lay the points because I'm not sure if their offense is going to show up more or their defense is going to show up more. I know that Sacramento has been playing like in some more slow-paced games. I think they're we talked about this last game. They were 3-7 to the under, 7-3 to the under in their last 10 games before giving up 124 points to the Denver Nuggets. That game did go over against Denver in their last game. But like I said, the Clippers probably get them in this one, and then I think the Clippers probably cover this short spread as well. Not short spread, but I think the Clippers can win and cover this game as long as Zubac plays. Though I would want Zubac in, and I think Sacramento just beats Phoenix in their next game to end the season. It is at home too against Sacramento. So that's my thought process here. I would be betting on the Clippers before I'm betting on the Kings. Not really agreeing with this line coming down. But without Zubac, I understand it and it makes sense. Clippers are just a team I'm not fading right now. Let's see what the thought processes are here. LJ says Clippers 14-5 against the spread in their last 19. They're one of the hottest teams in the NBA by far. Clippers have been absolutely hooping, man. Like I said, number 1 in offensive efficiency, number 1 in defensive efficiency. They have played the second easiest strength of schedule in their last 5 games, but the Kings, in my opinion, are cupcakes. I'm not a big Kings guy, so I kind of agree with LJ. Dom says no Monk, auto fade for the Kings. No Monk and no Keegan Murray. I can see it. Lucas says, any thoughts on the over-under on the Clippers-Kings games? I'm looking at the over. I think Zubac means a lot. Luca, I'm not sure how I would play that. I will say, if we're looking at Sacramento, just to put some numbers to it, they are 3rd in offensive rating, 21st in defensive rating. played against the 11th easiest strength of schedule, and they are also 22nd in pace in their last 5 games. So they're playing slow, playing no defense, playing a lot of offense, and against a pretty poor strength of schedule. The Clippers are number 2 in defensive efficiency, number 2 in offensive efficiency. Played against the easiest strength of schedule, and they're a moderate pace. They're 15th in pace. So if we look at the last handful of games between these two teams in general, the Clippers have won all 3 this season. The Kings did cover the last one in overtime. I remember Kawhi hit that game winner against them. This was kind of after the firing, and they've been playing a little bit more unders than overs. Looks like 5 of the last 6 games have stayed under the total. Going all the way back to last season, 2 of the 3 have stayed under the total this season, but we saw a much lower total the last time that they played. It was 215.5. This one is up to 226.5. So I probably won't touch the total. I do think the Clippers will be able to score. So it could just, if you want to stay away from the spread, maybe you just look towards a Clippers team total. Could definitely see that getting to the window today. Just rely, just taking the team that can score the basketball. But as I mentioned, Norman Powell and Zubac are listed as questionable, and that's a lot of offense, especially if you don't like the the hardened isolation basketball. Clippers team total is 116.5 on most books. It's a couple 115.5, and I think that they can get to 117 if Norman Powell and Zubac both play. What up? Will says could only look towards the Clippers here. They have more to play for, far more consistent effort. I agree with that. J-Man says take back Levine, 25 points in a win. Okay. Yeah, Adam, we just talked about that. Dorian says he kind of likes the under. Not trusting the Sacramento Bulls, Malik says. Oh, man. What up, James? Appreciate you for tapping in. I love it. Says I had a 20-leg parlay. Oh, God, that's a lot of legs. More legs than a family of spiders, man. That's a lot of legs. I love it. Way too many for me. All right, let's go to Warriors and Blazers. I did bet this one, and I hinted at this yesterday. I told you guys I was going to be looking towards the Warriors, and I was just kind of waiting for the number to come out. It looks like it's up to 14. 13.5 is consensus, though. There is still a 13 out there on Hard Rock. I got the Golden State Warriors last night at 11.5 at open. Probably going to end up adding Golden State first half here as well. That number is probably what? I'll wait for more books to open it, but it looks like 8.5 is the number right now. You probably be able to get something better than that. This is really just betting on the team that I think is good. That just kind of wet the bed. We've seen this a couple of times, man. I don't think I come on here and talk about this like enough, but like teams that lose that are better than the performance that they recently had typically play a lot better in that next game. And we've seen the Warriors bounce back after the All-Star break. But to me, this is very symbolic of not the same exact scenario, but the team is in the same exact scenario. Not the matchup specifically with teams, but Minnesota, right? They go on the road. They are smacking the Bucks the other day. Probably should win the game. They're up by like 19, 20 points. And they, catch a flat tire in the fourth quarter, end up getting steamrolled and, just have a really poor effort. If you go back to the Warriors game, little fat and happy spot. They, of course, murder the Phoenix Suns the night before. And then, they got the Spurs on the second leg of a back-to-back. They just beat the Spurs by 40 points. I think that's important to mention as well. They come out at halftime, it's 55-51. I'm considering betting Golden State third quarter or Golden State full game. And the lines are like, ugh. I'm like, all right, I'm going to just stay off. Golden State wins the third quarter by like 17 points. They lose the fourth quarter to this is the last game against the Spurs that I'm talking about. They lose the fourth quarter by like 16 points. Just take their foot off the gas, like thinking that it's going to be easy. And Harrison Barnes gamed them. Ex-Golden State Warriors Harrison Barnes gamed them. So I think I like when that happens, because that to me, that's a time that I want to bet on that team, especially if I know that there's a good team. So they're a good team. Also, you look at the injury report in this game. Golden State has nobody. Well, they do have a couple guys, and I'm thinking that they probably going to end up playing. And that would be Quentin Post, who has been listed as out for the last 2 games with an illness. Him coming back will be able to stretch the floor. He's also an excellent rebounder as well for Golden State. So they potentially could get him back. And then the same thing with Gary Payton III, he could potentially come back as well after missing the last 2 games. And they didn't really need him as much in that Phoenix game because, who do you really need to beat Phoenix? But they needed him last game, especially for the defense that he plays against perimeter ball handlers. Excuse me. So potentially getting both of those guys back. I think looking at Portland, even though they are at home, I think they've kind of, pitched the tent. They're done. 1, 2, 3 Cancun. We just saw Portland lose to the Utah Jazz in overtime. And now, they're injury depleted again. Shaden Sharp is questionable. Jeremy Grant's out. They've already ruled Anthony Simons out. Denny Avdiya listed as doubtful. He didn't play in the last game. I think it's belt to ass today. I did lay the 11.5 with the Golden State Warriors. I'm only looking to add Golden State first half because I do think that they will not come out and play with their food at all. And I didn't even mention the standings. I don't think I don't think we have to at this point. But if we want to talk about standings, Golden State's in 6 right now with Memphis losing last night. Memphis will probably lose again today, which hopefully guarantees Golden State, the 6th spot, because I need Golden State to make the playoffs and not be messing around in the play-in. So I can cash that Golden State to make the playoffs ticket as well. So Memphis loses tonight to Denver. Golden State wins. More than likely, they will finish top 6. But they did mess around and play with their food because they could be in a much better position right now than they are losing that game to the Spurs the other day. Meanwhile, Portland has nothing to play for. Probably got their bags packed. Just trying to figure out the location for the destination. It's been a rough season, man. Go get some sun on the beach with your family, kick the toes up, get the umbrella with the drink with the umbrella and the lemon in it. So yeah, I do think Golden State crushes the Portland Trail Blazers. And they have, right? That's what they've typically done. They've won 8 of the last 10 games against Portland as well. Last time they beat them by 10. That wasn't as much of a meaningful game. And last time they played in Portland, Golden State won 140-104 as well. So they are absolutely capable of blowing out this Portland team. Even though Portland, I wouldn't say that they're the worst team, but Portland has nothing to play for. They got the Lakers on deck to finish the season. Golden State got a big game against the Clippers that will also determine seeding as well. So this is the only bet that I made today. It's the one that kind of spoke to me, and I told you guys that's what I was looking for yesterday as well. What up, Betsy? Appreciate you for tapping in. Adam says no Denny, no dice. I'm not sure if he actually plays or not. We'll see. He missed the last game. Potentially, maybe they rule him out again. I would love it, but if they don't, maybe Golden State plays a little bit even harder. So we'll see. LJ says Golden State 4-0-1 ATS last 5 on the road, a 7-0 straight up on the road versus the West since the All-Star break. I like it. Justin got in at 11.5. Let's cash it, Justin. Yeah, I think so as well. Obliteration. I like it. Mop the floor. Warriors, I love it, says. I hope so. That's what I need, man. Justin said, JFX says, after that loss to the Spurs, I don't trust Golden State. I get it. That's why I'm playing them. I get it, though. But that's why I'm playing them, because I typically will have hesitation. There's been times where I've had hesitation. Like, I don't know, man. They just kind of laid an egg. I don't think they lay one here. We'll see. Let's see. That exotic drink. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. What up, Smeezy? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. Let's see. What else did I have? All right. So I think that might have been it as far as those games. As far as so let's go through the others real quick, and then we'll get into a quick recap. All right, so the games I didn't touch on, and I don't have too strong of an opinion on. Atlanta, Philly, I do kind of want to take the over. I was looking at over last night when it opened at 238. I saw it go all the way up to 242, I think. No, I didn't. I'm lying. It went up to 241, and now it's come back down. The only reason I didn't play the over, because we talk about all Atlanta games go over. I should have probably bet the one against the Brooklyn Nets, even though they had 5 points with like 5 minutes left in the first quarter. They still got to their team total because Atlanta doesn't care about defense and just only wants to play with pace. The only reason I didn't bet the over last night, because I was really close to pulling the trigger, was because I kind of feel like does Atlanta care about this game? Like, I'm not sure how much Atlanta cares. If they don't care, they could potentially rest Trae Young. Like, they could potentially rest a couple of the other guys as well. That's the only thing that kept me off the over. Atlanta is not going to catch Orlando at this point. So it's really about, do they want to finish in 8th against Orlando, or do they want to finish in 9th and play against the Miami Heat? I don't think Miami's going to catch Chicago either. So if you're looking at the standings, Atlanta, Chicago, Miami, all separated by 2 games, with 2 games left. Each team has 2 games left. So in my opinion, if Atlanta is okay with where they are, then maybe they don't, play their players. So that's the only thing that kind of like kept me off of that. I do think that this game goes up and over the total. We saw these 2 teams play against each other a couple weeks ago. It flew up and over the total as well. It really doesn't even matter who Philly has out there. And Philly has some guys on the injury report as well. I was looking at it last night. Justin Edwards is questionable. Yabusele is out. Quentin Grimes is questionable. No Oubre. Kyle Lowry is out. So, yeah, I still would only look towards over, but I was kind of hesitant. I was like, I'm not going to pull the trigger. I just want to make sure, Trey and all the other guys are going to be in, especially with the total being at 240. So that's my thought process there. Charlotte, Boston. Boy. Yeah, we'll just skip Charlotte, Boston. If I had to make a play, it would probably be a look towards Boston team total up and over. They do have all the guys off the injury report. Charlotte team total is 97.5 now. I think that they're crashing the worst. They're probably the worst crashing team in the NBA. Talking about a team that can't wait. Bridges is out now. I think I put it in my notes. I'm not even sure why I spent time to write this down. Mark Williams is going to be back, but Bridges is out. Green is out. And then Boston has taken their guys off the injury report after not playing in that second leg of a back-to-back against Orlando the other day. Drew Holiday, Porzingis, and Tatum are off the report. Didn't see Derek White name come up at all. I'm pretty sure he's off the report as well. And Jaylen Brown is the only person that the Boston Celtics have listed as out. So I do think that they score 120 points against Charlotte. The Charlotte stay under 97. I can see that too. The only problem I have is how much effort does Boston give on the defensive end, being that this game is kind of meaningless. So it wouldn't surprise me if Boston rules some players out as well, even though they've taken them off the injury report at the last minute. Cleveland, New York. I just don't know what's going to happen with the injury report there. So I'm off of that one. That was an easy skip for me. As we get in more information, I'll probably have, a look, or at least be able to talk about it a little bit more on Cal's show that I do at 4 p.m. So, yeah, both teams on the second leg of a back-to-back. I'm not sure what Cleveland's going to do with the injury report. Miami and New Orleans, easy skip. Toronto and Dallas, for me, easy skip. Not laying 11 with Dallas. Brooklyn, Minnesota, easy skip. OKC and Utah. I know OKC has ruled all their guys out. They probably still end up smoking the Utah Jazz, though. So that's the only way I would probably be looking is them minus the 9.5, even though the number has come down from 11. OKC has Dort, Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet, Jalen Williams, and SGA all listed as out. We just kind of saw this against Phoenix, and they smoked Phoenix. OKC has Collier listed out, no Walker Kessler, so no rebounding in my opinion, and they probably get steamrolled. So I would still be looking towards OKC, even though they are going into altitude. I think that they can score the basketball, and I think that they can win the game by double digits, even on the road, being without any starters. Crazy to think. San Antonio, Phoenix. I think San Antonio coming off the Super Bowl win against the Golden State Warriors, still looking like they're trying to play hard. I'm not laying points with Phoenix. That's what it really comes down to. I don't really care who they're playing against. That's just my stance on the Phoenix Suns. I know that Nick Richards got ruled out. Devin Vassell won't be in. I think it might have been a couple other players on the injury report for San Antonio. Yeah, Keldon Johnson is out. Jeremy Sohan still out as well. Just not laying points, man. I'm not laying points with the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, they also, in Cancun mentally already as well, or wherever they like to vacation at. And Houston and LA, we still don't have enough on the injury report either. I was looking for the Rockets injury report. I'm pretty sure they probably, play everybody in this game, being that they're playing against the Lakers. The Lakers do need the game, of course. This line open 9.5. It's up to 10.5. I know that the Lakers will have everybody in. The Lakers still do need to win games, but I saw Fred VanVleet and Sengun listed as questionable both. And Sengun's questionable is actually personal. So I'm not sure if he's going to be back. The Lakers just beat the Rockets as well. I don't know. I don't really know what to do with the game. I would kind of need to see what's going to happen with the injury report. So not going to talk your ear off if I don't know, like we don't have a full injury report. I do think 10 is a lot of points to lay with the Lakers. The Lakers have been hooping, and they absolutely need the game so that they can wrap up the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. Houston does not need the game at all. The Lakers can't catch them, but the Lakers can be caught by Denver. So the Lakers want the 3 seed. They really need to win today before finishing up the season. Who do the Lakers have to finish up the season? I feel like I know, but let me just double check. Lakers have the Portland Trailblazers in Portland to finish the season. So yeah, those are my thought processes on the other games, man. Let's see if we have anything else before we do a quick recap and jump off of here. Tariq says 13.5 still good. They'll go up by 15 or more by the fourth quarter. Talking about the Warriors game. Brzezinski over his 3-point prop versus a weak Portland defense, Adam says. I like the Brzezinski look, Adam. I do, because he shot terrible in that last game. I think he was limited to single-digit points against San Antonio. And I just think it's a big bounce back spot for him here. I typically like to play on players after they had a pretty poor game, and he's been in really good form before that bad game. So I agree with that. Shout out to my guy Bissy for joining as a member. Appreciate that, Bissy. It is the way to get all my plays as soon as I make them. Adam says he likes Dallas. Get right spot here versus a terrible spot for Toronto. AD over his points, rebounds, and assists. Okay. LJ says Boston first quarter versus the Hornets. Worst first quarter team on the road versus the East. Yeah, it could be a trifecta spot if Boston really wants to, put belt to ass today. Quinn says Spurs and Suns. Any thoughts? Just that I wouldn't ever lace points with the Suns. That's my only thought. Appreciate you, Bissy. Think Deuce go get in the game tonight, Tariq? They probably could against Charlotte, man. Boy, them boys are bad. When's the last time Phoenix was a favorite? Adam says. I don't think that actually was that long ago, right? Let's see. When last time Phoenix was a favorite? Phoenix was a favorite against the Bucks on the 24th, so it has been a while. About 3 weeks ago, they were favorites against the Bucks, and they lost that one. They won the game, but didn't cover the spread. Won by 2. So yeah, take with that information. Do what you want. What up, Riz? Appreciate you for joining as a member as well, Kurt. Nice to hear that, Busy. Cash and tennis looks like that a lot. Malik says Bulls got that important win versus the Heat. I can see them not covering tonight. So real quick, Malik, I totally skipped over that game. I'm glad you mentioned it. So Washington and Chicago, I get it, right? I get it. The Bulls got the win, like Malik says. Real quick, let's look at the standings. So Chicago did get the win against Miami the other day. Chicago does own the tiebreaker against the Heat as well. I want to say, let me just double check that real quick. So Bulls and opponent team. So Bulls have won. I know that they won. I just want to double check it. I want to confirm before I start talking about something. Yeah, I'm right. All right. So the Bulls beat the Heat all 3 times this season. So what that means is that if we go through and look at it real quick, the Bulls have the 1-game advantage. Did I write down injury report for that game? I don't think I did. I did. Middleton is out. Poole is out. Lonzo is out. So I did write down the injury report. The Bulls finished the season off against Philly. So they can absolutely take care of Philly if they need to make sure that they don't get caught. However, I don't think that they get caught. I do not think that they get caught. I also think that the Wizards kind of mailed it in as well. I know that they just covered against Indy. They probably had some kind of ulterior motive against the Pacers because the Pacers just smoked them by about 40 points the last time that they played. So they wanted to play hard in that game. They just lost to Philly by 19 points, and Philly was missing everybody. And Jordan Poole is already listed as out. No Chris Middleton as well. So my theory in the game is, if I'm playing it, and I know that the Bulls play super fast. I know that they're not the greatest defensive team, but I put this on the short list as well. I like the Wizards team total under today. I do think the Wizards offense is one of the worst offenses in the NBA. They like to shoot a bunch of threes. The Bulls' 3-point defense is relatively good. It has been all season. And I would think that the Bulls would be able to hold this Washington Wizards team under their team total. I think the number was, and I put it in the recap, so let's just go over to the recap. The number is 109.5. Yeah, I don't think that the Wizards score 110 points. And I put this in my notes as well. Let me just go back real quick. Crazy, I'm looking for ways I'm just trying to find ways to make money, but the Bulls are a team. The Wizards are a team that I just don't trust offensively ever, honestly. So Wizards, I know that the Bulls defense is not great. Like, hear me out. But the Wizards team total is 109.5. Let me just double check and make sure it hasn't moved. Yeah, 109.5. The Wizards have scored. So the Wizards just scored 103 points against the Sixers. Their defense is worse, in my opinion, than the Bulls. They scored 98 against the Pacers, 90 against the Celtics, 97 against the Magic. They do have a game in here where they scored 116 against the Kings, but before that, they scored 94 against the Heat, 109 against the Pacers, 104 against the Raptors, 103 against the Knicks, 105 against the Magic, 97 against the Trailblazers. They just haven't been going over their team total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of their last 8 games, they stay under their team total. 8 of their last 10 games, they stay under. 9 of their last 11 games, they stay under their team total. I just don't see a way that the Washington Wizards is going to score 109 points. And this is coming down to 108.5. So I did put that on the short list as well to go along with Denver, as you can see here, and Golden State, the only thing that I bet so far. Let's go back because I know I talked a lot about these other games. LJ says Bulls team total over. He likes it over. Says it's 15-3 to the over in the last 18. I like it. Yep, swept the Heat. Yep, you're right, Malik. I just looked that up. I love it. Says he's about to run it. Will says he likes Stephon Castle over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists, trying to make sure he secures that Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I could see that, Will. Could definitely see that. What up, Mark? Hope all is well with you down in Texas. And this might be the funniest comment I've seen in a while. Yeah, seek help, Timothy. Seek help, man. Yeah, I think your boys can play a little defense in this game, and it's really not even predicated on your defense. It's just like, I think because the Bulls don't play as much defense, you get a higher total for the Wizards, but I don't think that they get the 110. Chad says he likes the Spurs team total up and over. Suns can't stop a wheelchair. I could see that as well. Could definitely see that. The Spurs are not playing. The Suns are not playing any kind of defense. So I agree with that as well. All right, cool. If I make any other plays, they will be sent to the members. But the only thing that I sent out last night, only thing that I want officially is the Golden State Warriors minus the 11.5. I'm gonna be looking towards Golden State first quarter, first half as well. Just need to do a little bit more research and wait for those numbers to drop on more sports books so I can get the best of the number when they do drop. But yeah, these are the ways that I'm thinking about betting. There is no NBA tomorrow. We just have the Sunday, the last games on Sunday. I'll tell you guys right now, the thing that's been profitable over the last couple of years is overs in those games because teams don't want to get hurt, so they don't play defense unless you have games that are meaningful. So just take that with a grain of salt. A lot of the games towards the end of the season go over because teams don't have anything to play for, so they're not going to play that much defense. So keep that in mind as the lines start to open for Sunday. I will do a show on Sunday, kind of going through a couple of the games that make sense and that I feel like I want to play or at least want to talk about. And until then, that'll be it. Resources, as always, are here. Check out jaXon. Check out Outlier, Moneyballer, OddsJam, all of those good things. There are links that'll save you coin in the description of the video. Best of luck on whatever it is that you do play, man. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your Saturday as well. And I'll catch you guys on Sunday, man. Sunday morning, we'll be back bright and early. I'm out.